helmet and eye shield, goggles, face mask on. And I tell you what, I'm not as tough as some of these riders, put it that way. They are brave folk that don't have much protection on their faces. It hurts.
Daniel Gruter, who owns Apollo San and trains him. And we're getting ready. Here we go. Looks like we're just about set. And I think they're off and racing. They are indeed. And away they go. And Apollo San got an absolute flyer. And also right up there as well. And she's sitting prominently too with Cliquot de la Torre prominent. The chasers, Superberry Chanou, Verrazano Bridge and Vasco de Grau have got a little bit of ground to make up as they come up the home straight for the first time here in the beautiful conditions at St. Moritz. And out in front there, it's Ruby de Gillet and Armand Kohler, the leaders. From Anchi in second place, then back and forth is Cliquot de la Torre, making up some ground then just behind these in the yellow sash, Aladdin Volsan. At this stage, we've got Vasco de Grau quite outpaced at the back of the field, alongside Votre President as they turn away from us. And it's still out in front here, Ruby de Gillet, who leads by a couple of lengths at this stage. Anchi racing in second place. Cliquot de la Torre is in third spot. And then on the outside, the red cap of Apollo San. He's always been quite handy in the early part of the race. Verrazano Bridge's yellow jacket is sitting just behind and travelling quite nicely. Aladdin Volsan is next as they continue down the back straight. I tell you what, Superberry Chanou is making up ground stealthily on the outside, number one in the white with the disc. And the favourite, Hugo de Tortiere, having sitting in the middle of the field, is just being patiently driven along at the back, but he's making ground on the outside now. The red and white diamonds, Hugo de Tortiere. At the back of the field, still trying to make up ground is Vasco de Grau, another one that's still got quite a bit of work on at the rear of the field as they take the turn is Ramona Lap. And as they turn down the side of the course for the final time, it's all to play for here. And still, it's Apollo San that comes now through to take over. Apollo San in the hands of Daniel Gruter. But chasing hard now, Hugo de Tortiere is being cheered home by the crowd here. Apollo San on the inside. Hugo de Tortiere with his white face is lunging late on the outside, is beginning to get up the favourite here. Hugo de Tortiere on the outside. Apollo San battling away, but he can't resist the charge of Hugo de Tortiere. The favourite comes home to win for Fanny Omberger and wins by a couple of lengths from Apollo San in second. A good run by Superberry Chanou back in third. Verrazano Bridge was fourth, and they were followed then by Aladdin Volsan in fifth place. And then just behind that one there was Ramona Lap. So a very patient ride there from Fanny Omberger on Hugo de Tortiere. Made up the ground on the turn out of the back straight, and was too powerful, coming home clear of Apollo San. So the favourite goes in, much to the delight of the crowd here, Hayley.
Yeah, everyone's really enjoyed that, but that was a perfectly driven race, wasn't it? It was a great race to watch the way it unfolded. She jumped off, had a nice position early, didn't rush the horse up, challenged down the back straight, came wide. It was lovely and smooth. You could always see that she was just going to produce this horse at the right moment. He was gaining throughout the race at every stride, really. It was slow motion stuff. It seemed to go on a lot longer
Yes.
than what we were enjoying last weekend. It was a much more like it. You could actually breathe during the action. And Hugo de Tortiere goes one better from last week. Clearly a horse in really, really good form. And it was a long-time leader, Apollo San, who did so well out there. I thought for a moment he was going to keep going for Daniel Gruter, who trains, drives and owns. But unfortunately, he was just setting the race up for Hugo de Tortiere to come and pounce late.
Got quite a bit on to do here, Hugo de Tortiere, entering the back straight, Hayley, isn't he?
Oh yeah, it was
really
very much what we'd call a Jamie Spencer-esque ride back in the UK, wasn't it?
Imagine Jamie having a go at this.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm not sure how he'd cope with it, but I'm sure he'd give it a good go. But yeah, Hugo de Tortiere was, I just think, so well
Second
produced,
from the right there with his white face. Now he's pulling wide.
Yeah, coming out really wide around the opposition. It was, you know, I just think tactically a very astute ride. And out in front still Apollo San cutting the running, has done very well. And then staying on quite nicely late on was Superberry Chanou, who you pointed out and explained how that horse had to give the start away 25 metres before we were racing. So that horse has continued to show up the best of the horses that were given that disadvantage at the beginning of the race. And then Verrazano Bridge, back in fourth place, has done well there to make up some ground.
First two drawing clear here, Hayley, turning into the straight, aren't they? It's between the two of them. They just pulled clear of the rest of the field, didn't they?
Yeah, they've come a long way clear. These two probably the ones, I'm sure, in time that will be needing to give away the 25-metre start, the way that they've motored on. It was a funny start, wasn't it? Some of them just breaking into stride as well, which I don't know the rules inside out, if I'm honest with you. I know obviously you've got to trot, but some of them just fresh and lively. It's so hard to keep a lid on them when they're buzzed up, enjoying being on the snow, isn't it? So yeah, a couple of them, I think, just a brief stride. I'm not sure how the penalties work in that situation.
They'll be keeping a close eye on them, that's for sure.
Yeah, yeah, exactly.
Oh, look, like the rug's gone on very quickly afterwards. Isn't that great?
Oh, they're so well looked after up here, and the facilities as well. That's another thing that I've enjoyed seeing. Beautiful setup here, wonderful stables that you know match any